Good morning. Welcome to a video covering the Major League Baseball slate for August 1st, 2020. This is Gus Amashini from sportsmanac.com, also affiliated with Advanced Sports Analytics. And we're going to talk about some games that will be going on today. So right here on the first slide, let's actually start the slideshow. Excuse me, just waking up this morning, so a little congested. Hold on a sec here. Slideshow, there we go. Great. So if we look at the slideshow here, obviously we're not going to look at the Cincinnati-Detroit game since we're only focused on the main slate. But we have 12 games on tap for us. Cincinnati-Detroit looks like that's probably makeup. I'm not 100% sure. But we have a few games that are postponed, and that is a little bit concerning, mainly because we're starting to see COVID-19 start to disrupt the game again. And if other teams can't get us under control, there's a good chance we might lose the season. So this might be our last weekend to be able to play some Major League Baseball DFS. We're really going to focus on these games right here. Boston, New York, Cleveland, Minnesota, and also Tampa Bay at Baltimore. So really focus on the earlier games and kind of ignoring the games on the late end of the slate. So if we move forward, Tyler Glasnow is a pitcher we're going to target for today. Really liking Glasnow a lot. He's pitching at Baltimore. His record against Baltimore as a career, I mean, he's a young pitcher, obviously. Really solid numbers. OPS against him is .438. Small sample size, mind you, only 64 at-bats, 12 hits, but nonetheless has done very well against Baltimore in his short career. Here you see his ERA is only 1.5, 2-0, 18 innings, 20 strikeouts, no walks. So those are numbers that really stand out. Then if we look at his distributions, now this is what you can find on the Advanced Sports Analytics site. I tend to abbreviate as ASA. Great site, lots of great tools. So this right here is his distribution from March 29th, 2018 until now. So it's looking at about 2 years of data. This is for DraftKings, we can also do it for FanDuel or Yahoo. And also we're showing quantile. So 50th percentile, he tends to get about 17 DraftKings points, which is pretty solid because we have seen some pitchers, really good pitchers, kind of stink it up. So it's kind of good to see that he is pretty reliable. Here we have 75th percentile, 90th percentile, and 95th percentile. So there are some chances that he can get some pretty high scores. It does depend on his pitch count and how many innings he throws, but if we get 5 or 6 innings, they get close to 7 or 8 strikeouts with no earned runs. That's going to be really, really good. Baltimore as a team can't really hit. Now you do see the San Francisco Giants highlighted. They're highlighted because that is my home team, and ESPN tends to highlight that. I probably should log out when I pull up this data. But you see that last year, 2019. Oh, here we go. Let me get the pen going again. Yeah, you can see in 2019, Baltimore was one of the worst hitting teams. Had one of the lowest OPS at .727. Batting average is also pretty low. They strike out quite a bit. 2018 also not very good. They were bottom 5. Again, OPS was under .7. So not a very good hitting team for the last 2 years, and not much upgrade to their roster. And we're looking at the weather, and the weather's been pretty warm in Baltimore, and we've seen a lot of home runs hit there. But weather is actually going to be pretty mild today. There is a decent, well, not say decent, slight chance of rain, but so do watch out for that. But as long as the weather's clear, but if it's a bit moist, that's actually good for pitching because obviously when you don't have that, that dry air where balls can fly, That's kind of a good thing, that you kind of want the moist air for keeping the ball in the park. Now if we move on to the next slide. Here we got CARRASCO. And CARRASCO has not done well against Minnesota. I mean, very good pitcher, obviously. But this is stats from last year. So 3 games pitched against them. They've had a OPS of 1.106. They've hit 2 homers against him. Batting average 382. Some teams have done well against him too. I mean, those are just like one-offs. But 3 games, I think, is pretty significant when you think about it. His ERA is 9.82, so he gave 8 earned runs and 7.1 innings pitched. And the fact that he saw him 3 times, only pitched 7 innings, he was knocked out of the game pretty early. So that's something to think about right there. The batters have done well against him. Josh Donaldson, who is day-to-day, so we'll see if he plays. But Nelson Cruz, I think, is the one that you really want to focus on. Minnesota is a much different team with Cruz on there when he joined in 2019. You can also look to Jorge Polanco or maybe Eddie Rosario. They all bat pretty close to Cruz. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, you know, if those guys are getting on base or Cruz gets on base and then Rosario knocks him in, we see a very strong correlation with those 3 players. So Cruz, Polanco, and Rosario. You definitely want that stack. Minnesota was a great hitting team last year, so not really fluky. They're pretty legit. Second highest OPS last year at 832, and they're still hitting the ball well this season. You can see in this bunch, you also have the most home runs as well. So that's also good to know. And if we move on to our next slide. Nelson Cruz is the guy that we really want to focus on. Even if you don't believe in a Minnesota stack, still pick up Cruz. So again, this is from the Advanced Sports Analytics site. And here we're looking at his DraftKings distribution from the last 2 seasons and a little bit of this season. You can see his the median is at 6, 75th percentile, 16. So I mean, this is a person who can have some pretty strong games. You know, obviously you do want to get that home run or maybe you know, one of those, like, you know, multi extra base hit games would be awesome for him. You know, he's definitely kind of the nucleus of this offense. So he's something that we're looking towards. And if you look at the batting order correlation app, so this again, you can find an Advanced Sports Analytics site, ASA. Sometimes Cruz does bat cleanup, and if he does, you definitely want to pair him with the number 5 hitter, who's Eddie Rosario. Even the 7th hitter is typically Mitch Garver. Those could be good correlations. Polanco also correlates well with Rosario. So I'm really feeling definitely 2, 4, 5 for today for Minnesota. Those guys tend to do pretty well. Maybe 7 or 8 hitters. So do watch out for how the lineup will come out today. You could probably go for Max Kepler for number 1, but a lot of different options you can do here. Let's go back a little bit. Make sure I haven't skipped any slides. Yeah, so this is a typical lineup. Kepler batted 1 yesterday. Polanco was 3rd. Cruz was 4th. Rosario was 5th. We'll see where Donaldson fits in today if he does play. Most likely Garver will probably catch, so look out for him. So there's a lot of different ways you could play this, but your core is going to be Polanco, Cruz, and Rosario. I would not stray away from that. And then you could probably throw in one more player, maybe Kepler, Garver, and if you're playing FanDuel, if you're doing DraftKings, you could probably put 2 more Twins players if you want to go that direction, or just stick with those 3. Here we have also another projected lineup. This is from RotoWire, and in fact, actually, the Advanced Sports Analytics site does pull the lineups from RotoWire. So this is, you know, so Advanced Sports Analytics is kind of a great site because it it's kind of the one-stop shop, you know, like you have projected lineups, we do projected run totals, we do predicted fantasy scores, we do distributions, batting order correlation. So a lot of different things you can get on that site. So I strongly recommend you check it out. Excuse me. So yeah, they see that CRUZ is probably batting third, Polanco second. Interesting to have Donaldson at fourth and Rosario fifth, so you could probably go 2 through 5. Garver's another one you could look at as well. But we'll see how that shakes out when they actually have the official lineup for later today. Here we have Masahiro Tanaka. Now, why are we putting him here? Because we're going to now go for a Boston stack. So we are attacking some pretty good pitchers. CARRASCO, you know, no scrub. Likewise with Masahiro Tanaka. So this is going to go some differentiation, right? You definitely want that low ownership. So sure, you could attack like the weakest pitcher on each slate, but a lot of people are going to be doing that anyway. So how do we stand out? So again, we're going for a really strong pitcher, Untitled Glasnow. Good sack with Minnesota. He gets a good pitcher, but has had a good history, especially CRUZ. So now let's look at Tanaka here. Tanaka against Boston last year, not good at all. And the year before, also not good. So let's take a look at those numbers. So only managed to throw about 8 innings and gave up 22 earned runs. That is ridiculous. Lots of fly balls, so definitely the balls flying out of the park. Now, mind you, this game right here was in London, where we saw some really ridiculous scores there, 17-13. You usually don't see that in baseball. Yeah, it seemed like that place was a launching pad. But still, I mean, we look for more data. And here in 2018, was able to last a little longer. Looks like I had close to about 20 innings pitched, but still gave up a decent amount of earned runs. And gave up 16 earned runs there. Getting the strikeouts, but still allowing a lot of fly balls. So, and definitely allowing a lot of homers, 6 homers allowed here. We see 4 homers allowed here. So definitely I think we want to attack Tanaka today. Yes, he's at home, does better at home, but again, we're going for that differentiation here. And if we move on to our next slide, who has done well against Tanaka? So this is his batter pitcher history. Michael Chavez only seen him twice, but did homer. Devers I like a lot. That's one we really want to target. You can go Martinez, a little expensive. Sometimes he doesn't do much for you. If you are thinking lefties, Moreland and Benintendi. Of course, Tanaka as a righty. So we're going for the splits here. So that could be a good core to have. You can even throw in Bogarts. And again, if you look at Tanaka's history, this is for his whole career. You know, obviously he's only seen the Padres once, the Brewers twice, so small sample size. Astros are obviously a very good team. Rangers, probably if those games were at the old Arlington Stadium, Cincinnati once. But this right here, 21 games, 0.16 OPS allowed. So again, pretty significant sample size there. And Boston seems to have his number, and of course recently. Rafael Devers. So this is his DraftKings distribution, again, from the Advanced Sports Analytics site. His median's pretty solid, 7. Definitely better than CRUZ's median, which was at 6. Again, if we see his 75th to 90th percentile from 14 to 21, and this is not someone that really has a homer for us. Like, he can get us some extra base hits. Very good at getting doubles. If we get like 2 doubles and 3 RBIs, totally will take that. And that also means that other guys are getting on base, and as a whole, Boston's attacking him. Devers is going to be near the top of the lineup, so thinking Benintendi, maybe someone who bats after him, like Bogarts might be good. Moreland could be another one. So you definitely want a batter before and after Devers, just like we want with CRUZ. Like, we want a batter before and after CRUZ for Minnesota. So this is going to be the nucleus of our stack, Rafael Devers. And if you look at the batting order correlation app, so Devers sometimes bats second or third. We do see a very strong correlation, actually, from 4, 5, 6, 7, which doesn't quite involve Devers, but 4 is Bogarts, 5 probably Moreland, 6 probably Gosh, Christian Vasquez, sorry about that, the catcher. 7 could be Chavez or maybe Alex Verdugo. So that's another way you can kind of look at the stack as well. But you kind of want to have Devers in there. So that's some very strong correlations that you can, again, get from the Advanced Sports Analytics site. Here was a hitting line for Boston yesterday. Didn't do well yesterday, but you see Devers was third and not having a great season so far, but this could be a way for him to snap out of his slump. And I just did something to my screen, and now you're seeing my face without my hair all done up. But if we go back again, there we go. Okay, slideshow is acting up. Okay, now let's get back here again. Yeah, so yeah, that's why the slideshow ended, because we're at the last slide now. So here are some projected lineups for today. So on the left we have DraftKings, right we have FanDuel. So you can see that we are actually going for 2 stud pitchers, and both have great averages. This could really be awesome for us. Now Flaherty has been hit or miss in Milwaukee. Last year not so good. The year before did really well. And interesting, Milwaukee was a really good team in 2018. So you know, you can take this with a grain of salt, like how he's going to do in Milwaukee, but still, you know, we're getting 2 strong pitchers here. We have a full Boston stack with Vasquez, Moreland, Chavez, Devers, and Benintendi. So you can see that we have a batter before Devers with Benintendi. We have some batters afterwards. Looks like they'll probably be like the 5, 6, 7 hitters, or 5, 6, 8 hitters. Our core, Polanco, CRUZ, and Rosario. You could also swap out Benintendi with Max Kepler and Vasquez with Mitch Garver if you want to go heavier on Minnesota. So you could play this a couple of ways. I might do both of those just to play it safe. FanDuel, here we have GLASNOW. Again, I tend to prefer GLASNOW over Flaherty, but you need 2 pitchers in DraftKings, and yeah, why not? If I can get another stud pitcher, let's do that. But here on the right, we do see kind of a split between Boston and Minnesota. Again, Polanco, CRUZ, and Rosario, and then we're throwing Kepler. Here we have Bogarts. You know, we did see the 4-hitter correlate well with the 5-hitter for Boston. So Bogarts and Moreland could be good. And here we have Devers and Chavez. You could also try to throw in Benintendi, save a little money, and maybe swap out one of the other Boston players from a Minnesota player. But a lot of different ways you could play this, but this is probably the direction I'll be taking for today. And last Saturday, obviously, was a very, very successful day. Last few days, not so good for baseball. But we'll see if we get back at it for today and have another great Saturday like we did last weekend. We also do NBA stuff on the Advanced Sports Analytics site and at Sportsmanac. So I'm going to try to get my NBA stuff up pretty soon, hopefully before the kids wake up. So we'll see how that goes. Again, good luck with all your games today, and a lot of other sports, UFC, NASCAR, golf, I assume all that's going on. I don't know. I've been focused on baseball and basketball. So again, good luck, and we'll check in later.